An immigrant mouse takes on a gang of street cats. Tom Cruise dresses up like Robin Hood, and the headmaster soils his punctual image, all on Rated K, for kids, by kids. Hi, I'm Matt Nespole.
And I'm Lakmini Besbroda.
And I'm Mark Shanahan. Welcome to the only movie review show just for kids. Okay. The first movie we're going to do today is an animated musical produced by Steven Spielberg. You know, the guy who brought you Jaws and E.T. and Close Encounters and made us...
We know you know.
All right, fine.
Mark,
Okay, sorry.
American Tale is about a family of Russian immigrant mice who decide to come to America because the cats are eaten all up in Russia, and there aren't supposed to be any cats in America. But when they get here, they find out that there are cats in America. And to make matters worse, the little kid of the family, Fievel, he gets taken prisoner by the Mott Street Maulers, the meanest cat gang in all of New York City. But the guy who's guarding him isn't as mean and ugly as he really looks.
My name's Tiger. What's yours?
Fievel Mouse Legs.
Oh, dear. Listen, I like mice. Oh, no, not like that. I mean, I don't eat red meat at all. I'm a vegetarian. That's right. Oh, a little fish now and then. But what I really like is some nice broccoli.
You know, I thought all cats were supposed to be mean.
Mean? I am mean. What's the use?
While Tiger and Fievel are becoming buddies, across town, Warren T. Rat, neighborhood con artist, well known for preying on the innocent new immigrants, is counting the dough he got today.
Would you please put out that filthy thing? I'm suffocating down here.
You don't like it? Hey, you know you're not the only cockroach in New York City. There are millions of roaches who give their left feet to work for Warren T. Rat.
Oh, good. Fire me. I'm fed up with that filthy smoke.
Hey.
In this pocket, I've seen kitchen shelves cleaner than this place.
Come on.
Look at my suit.
All right, Digit, all right. Hey, how much money did we make today?
Well, let's see. 7946, carry 1, drop 2. Take 5 down, 7 up, 98.6.
Yeah.
0.9.
And 2 plus 2 is 22.
Wow!
But what did we make? What's the total?
So far, we have collected $89 and 13 cents.
More than anything, Fievel wants to find his family. He knows they're out there, somewhere.
Out there beneath the pale moonlight, someone's thinking of me and loving me tonight.
Fievel's voice is really Philip Lasser. He's 7 years old. In the movie, he sang the song. But there's also a music video with Linda Ronstadt and James Ingram. The other voices were done by some famous actors, like Dom DeLuise, who played the character of Tiger.
Dom DeLuise inspires animators to make the character that he's portraying better than they would paint that character if it was anybody else, because Dom throws in so many asides, so many ad-libs, and it just gives that character much more, breadth and width and space to work in.
When we did the song Duo, and I was supposed to be working with this little mouse, they said, he's going to scratch your back. And I said, oh, when he's scratching my back, could we stop the song for a moment so that I can enjoy that? You know how nice it is to have your back scratched. So I stopped the song, and I was the first one who enjoyed the back scratch. Then the animator enjoyed it, and then eventually the mouse scratched the cat's back, and the cat got to enjoy it. And then hopefully you get to enjoy it.
Stop. No, don't stop. More. We're friends, and that's what friends are for. We're a duo.
I like this movie a lot. I thought it was a lot of fun to go to. But at first, when I walked in, I looked at the rating and it said G, and there's a little mouse on the front of the billboard. I was like, I can't get into this. But as you sit there, you really start getting the Fievel's character and all the other characters who are hanging out. It's a lot of fun, you know. It's great to watch. And you really get into it, and you start to get that feeling when your face gets all tense and you get this 106 temperature shoot up and your heart gets all hot and you want to cry, but you don't, which is really nice. You usually don't have that happen in movies. What I thought was great, as Mark said, you know, Steven Spielberg did all these movies like Jaws, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, like where they had the eyeballs in the soup. And I thought, you know, this is nice the way you didn't have no eyeballs in the soup in this one. It was really sweet and a lot of fun. And I like this movie a lot.
I totally agree with you. I thought this was the best movie, and I got so into it. And I got so into it at times that I had to remind myself, you know, these are only pictures up there, you know, you gotta take it easy here. But there were so many great parts about this movie. The music was pretty cool. It was pretty cute. There were a couple of songs that are a little too cute, but, you know, it was really good anyway. I thought that there was being in the late 1800s in New York was really great. It made for a really good atmosphere, and I thought it was really amazing. And it made the movie altogether made you think of all the people that at that time actually had to immigrate to America to overcome their hardships from their own country, and it really made you feel patriotic. And when mice can make you feel patriotic, you know, there's got to be something good about this movie. And I thought it was really amazing. I got so into it, and I want everybody to see this movie. It's the best.
Yeah, the animation itself was really incredible. I mean, the expressions on these little mice face, I couldn't believe I was reacting so strongly to a cartoon. I mean, I watch cartoons on Saturday. They don't do this for me. It really had a great story underneath it. My favorite character had to be Fievel. He was the cutest. He had the cutest little voices. And in general, I found that the voices matched up with the characters really nicely. Dom DeLuise, the tiger. I mean, it really added a lot to the movie. This is one of the movies that you just can't not love. It was irresistible, and I was really touched.
Wasn't this the best?
It was definitely the best animated movie I've ever seen.
You know, I wanted to tell my grandparents to go see this, you know, because I wanted to call them up to tell them, because I think that they would relate to it pretty well, you know. I thought it was a really amazing movie.
They're immigrants, right? They're immigrants.
Oh, their parents.
Oh, yeah.
Stephen, you did a good job.
Steve.
Bravo. Anyway, I have one final question for you guys.
What's that?
Would either of you guys see this movie again?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Let's bring everyone.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Whole world.
Let's go. I'm gonna rate this movie a T for terrific.
And I'm gonna give it an A for amazing.
And I'm gonna give it a C for classic. We're just in time for Clockwise.
Nice try, Lakmini.
L-A-M-E.
Clockwise is the story of Brian Stimson, the headmaster who just made history by being chosen the chairman of the annual Headmasters Conference. Well, this was one of the most important days of his life, and when he heads off for Norwich, he makes sure he has plenty of time to catch the train.
Right, Norwich. On time, so are we? On the left. Right. On the left, Governor. Right. On the left, then. Right. Right? Right. Right.
This is a historic moment.
This is the train for Norwich.
Plymouth.
Plymouth?
It was Norwich on the left.
Wait! Stop! Wait!
Right. Things only get worse from there. One misadventure leads to the next, and he somehow dragged a student and his ex-girlfriend into all this chaos. Every shortcut they try to take just finds them in more of a mess.
It's 5 to 2.
I'm hungry.
You're hungry. We're all hungry. We can't eat now because we're in the middle of a field. So we have to adapt to our circumstances. Now, I wanted to be in Norwich at 3 to greet everyone as they arrive. I can't be there at 3, so instead, I want to be there at 5 in time to deliver my speech. This is how mankind has evolved from the primeval slime, by adapting to circumstances. We can't go forwards, so we'll go backwards instead. Put it in reverse for her, Laura. I'll push. Right. Right. No. Thank you. Stay here. Don't move.
But Stimson is not easily discouraged. He's full of new solutions. It's just that none of them seem to work.
Can you tell me, do you know, is there anyone round here with a tractor?
One my bet anyway. Watched you go down the meadow there. Bet myself a cheese sandwich you wouldn't get as far as the bottom.
Right, we're stuck. We need a tractor to pull us out.
Having a day in the country, are you?
Not really. Is there a farm near here?
Getting close to nature?
Right, right. We're in rather a hurry, you see. I have to be in Norwich by 5.
Norwich? You going to Norwich?
Yes. So, if we can just find a tractor...
What? Shortcut, is it?
Lost our way. So we must quickly find a tractor.
Well, my advice is this.
Yes?
If you're going this way...
Yes?
Find a tractor.
A tractor, yes?
Stay on the bloody thing all the way to Norwich.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'll tell you something else.
Yes, thank you.
Know what I'm sitting on?
It's bomb, I hope.
They do get out of the field, but he ends up in a monastery. Don't ask me why, don't ask me how. This is a crazy, crazy movie. And you don't have to like English humor to really appreciate this movie, because I'm not really into all those Monty Python movies that John Cleese made before. Cleese was really, really funny in this movie. I thought he was really hysterical. And it was the thing that really, struck me as really funny in this movie was the fact that you never know what was going to happen next. It was a really crazy road trip that you didn't know what was going to happen. It was kind of a combination of Pee-wee's Big Adventure, National Lampoon's Vacation, and The Sure Thing. I thought this movie was really crazy, and the fact that I never knew what was going to happen next is what really, really made it funny. The situations were funny. It wasn't just a bunch of one-liners that were strung together. It was a really great situation.
Yeah, that strange situation and humor just didn't get to me, I just thought it was weird, but I wasn't laughing all over the place about it. There were a couple funny parts which made it interesting. Like Mark said, John Cleese was really good. I liked him. But the movie was so confusing. I mean, understand that he's trying to get to this meeting somehow, but I don't understand, what's going on. He's in a field, as Mark said, he gets to a monastery, and I was just so confused, I didn't understand it, and that really knocked me off. But I did like all the little subplots, all the people, his ex-girlfriend, the old ladies who are running around, I don't know why, his nizerd dork of a wife who I have no idea what she's doing there. Even though I had no idea what was going on, I still like them a lot. But I'm really still too confused on this movie.
I think your problem was, though, you found all those little subplots, while they were funny, you thought that they were too confusing.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I thought that's what really made it funny, though. I thought that all those crazy ladies running around, I was like, what's going on here? But I thought that was really funny. That was a funny part of the movie.
I didn't think, I don't know, it's just too confusing, you know what I mean, to get those subplots. I just like the idea of the subplots. They were confusing. The whole thing was confusing.
Yeah, but that's what I thought made it funny. The confusing part of it made it funny.
Guys, I have one final question. Was it just Matt, or was this really a confusing movie?
No, it was confusing.
It might have been Matt there, because I didn't think it was really that confusing. It was a pretty funny movie, huh?
Anyway, because I thought it was confusing, even though it had its funny moments, I'm gonna have to give this movie an S for so-so.
I'm gonna give it a C for crazy, because that's what it was. When we come back, we're gonna look at True Stories. But first, before we go, it's time for Matt's favorite line. Matt's favorite line from Clockwise.
It's not the despair I can live with. It's the hope that gets me.
The hope that gets
them.
Thank you.
I love it. Good job, Matt.
Thank you.
Hey, you got a question about a movie or a movie star? Well, write us, and I'll probably be able to answer it. So that's Rated K, for kids, by kids, P.O. Box 909, Radio City Station, New York, New York, 10101.
Mark, you think you know it all?
Give me a break, Lockmini.
You're watching Nickelodeon. We now return to Rated K, for kids, by kids.
Welcome back to Rated K, for kids, by kids. The next movie we're going to talk about is True Stories, which was directed, written by, and stars David Byrne of the Talking Heads.
David Byrne plays an outsider who visits a small town in Texas where he meets a whole bunch of strange and crazy people, including a family where the husband and wife use their children to talk to each other, and a father who uses the dinner table to display his latest vision for the town.
Here, you take this, pass it down to our guest. Now, let me just grab one of these. Oh, these are colorful. What are these, fish? Linda, would you ask your mom how the fashion show went today, okay?
Sure, Dad. Mom, how'd it go today? You tell him it was just wonderful. He should have been there.
Let me show you what I think is going on.
You hear music?
Something wrong with your sister? Mainframe. Microprocessor. Semiconductor.
All right, Daddy.
Now, if this is the town, and here is the workplace, with its goods, and distribution network. Now, most middle-class people have worked for large corporations like Barrycorp, or for the government itself. But now, all that started to change. Scientists and engineers are moving off from those large corporations like Barrycorp, and they're beginning to start their own companies, marketing new inventions.
Excuse me, Mr. Culver. I forgot what these peppers represent.
How you play?
He also comes across this lazy woman who has so much money she never has to get out of bed.
Live at 5. News at 10. News at 7. News at 9. News at 8. News at 11:30.
With us on the action line.
Suits and ties. Hey, Robert, seen this one?
And then there's Louis, who's trying desperately to find a wife, and he meets some pretty unique women along the way.
Darling, I'll tell you what now, I just have a feel for it, you know what I mean? Of course, being overly psychic sure doesn't hurt anything. It's paid off for me. Listen, Mr. Fry, I'll tell you something.
Louis,
darling, listen. I'll tell you something if you promise not to tell another living soul. Now, I'd never tell this to anybody else, but I believe that part of my extra psychic abilities connected up with the fact that I was born with a tail. A little old bitty hairy thing about that long. Had it surgically removed when I was just 5 years old. My mama kept it in a fruit jar up in the medicine cabinet right between the 4-way cold tablets and the monkey blood. I'd get up every morning. First thing, I'd go in there in the bathroom, brush my teeth, and stare at my own tail at the same time.
But still, he never gives up.
hello, I'm Louis Fine, and I'm looking for matrimony with a capital M. I believe in the joys and contentment of matrimony. Now, my chances in this world to print a new diet book every month may not be that good. I'm looking for someone who can accept me for what I am. I'm 6 foot, 3 inches tall, and maintain a very consistent panda bear shape. I'm pleased with the way God made me. I wouldn't change a thing. I'm willing to share. Won't you please call this number? 844-WIFE. That's 844-WIFE. Please call. Serious inquiries only.
Can you believe that?
Mark, you should try that. That's 844-MARK.
Black one up for Lakmini there, folks.
Thank you.
No, I have to admit, though, at first I didn't understand what was going on in this movie. I thought it was a tour guide to Texas. I mean, nothing really made sense. It's not the kind of movie that has a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's just a whole bunch of scenes that are all put together that really have no whatsoever order. They're just out of sequence, kind of like when you're dreaming at night and you wake up the next morning and you have no idea what sequence this dream had, but you remember little parts of it. It was kind of like one long dream from David Byrne.
Well, all that stuff like Mini Guy, I didn't get any of that. I was sat there like this during the whole movie. Oh, what's going on? I didn't know what was going on. I was so confused. I didn't understand the meaning of this movie. I didn't understand what was trying to happen. I mean, he walked into the movie. It was just really freaky. I did like, though, the guy who played Lewis. I mean, he was really funny, and those little characters and those little scenes are funny, but I just didn't understand what it meant, and I was really baffled throughout the whole thing.
You know, Matt's having a lot of trouble figuring out these movies today, but I don't blame him because
it's been a rough week, Mark,
I'm sure
okay?
But I don't blame him for this one because this was the weirdest movie in the history of the universe. This I couldn't figure out, but I don't think it really mattered because I really loved this. It was hysterical. There were all these little weirdo, strange things that just came out of nowhere, but I was laughing hysterically at them. I thought this was a really funny movie because it had this strange, subtle blend of humor and weirdness and weird timing, and the music was fantastic. And the thing that was really great about this movie is that it took a step back and looked at us all and said, you know, just how weird ordinary things are and all those people are. We're just really weird when you think about it. And that's what this movie did for me, and I thought it was really hysterical. It was great.
It was, though. I liked what you said about it taking a step back. You just looked at people. I mean, I came out of there looking at people and just thinking, you know, that guy lives on the 11th floor, and
I wonder what he's really like.
What he's doing tonight, you know?
I'm still so lost. I just don't know.
Yeah, but see, I don't think it matters that you didn't understand this movie.
You don't have to understand it. That's just it.
Because it was funny.
Watch it and you laugh.
There was a lot of funny parts to it, except I'm still so confused.
I think this movie's going to become a cult classic because I have never seen any movie just like this one. This is weird, but I liked it a lot. It was really great.
It was strange, and I'm still confused. I don't know what you say.
Well, I'm going to give it an S for see it.
And I guess I'm going to have to give it a C for confused.
Well, I couldn't understand, but I don't think that matters. So I'm going to give it a G for go and figure it out yourself.
Wait. I have one final question. Would you go to the bathroom to do this one?
Yeah, I would go for a long time. Sit out for half an hour.
Well, I don't know if I would go to the bathroom because then when you come back, you're going to think that you missed something, and that's why you don't understand what's going on in this movie. But if you do, you know, you didn't really miss anything.
That's what I said. Some other movies coming up this month are Streets of Gold, which is about two young boxers and their Russian coach. If you like Rocky, you'll like this. And then there's Nobody's Fool with Rosanna Arquette and Eric Roberts. They both play quirky characters in a small southern town who fall in love with each other. And finally, there's Solar Babies, which takes place in the future and is about mystical forces and neat things like that. There's a whole bunch of new movies coming out in home video.
I saw The Money Pit, which stars Tom Hanks and Shelley Long as a couple who decide to invest in their dream house, only to find out that it's a total nightmare.
Look, this is an old house. It's going to need some work. You've got to expect that.
I didn't expect that water. It had legs.
This is the kind of movie, you know, you just plug it into your TV if you have nothing else to do. But, you know, there are a couple of funny chuckling moments in there with Tom Hanks and Shelley Long. They're pretty good. But believe me, it's not really worth it. You know, it's kind of okay. It's nothing great.
Well, I saw Lucas, which is about a nerdy kid who falls in love with the cutest girl on the street, and he'll do anything he can to impress her.
Did you hear about Lucas?
What about him?
It's suicide. What do you mean? He's gone out for the football team.
Well, this is a really good movie, you know. It's the kind of movie you see with your girlfriend, you cuddle up with her, or boyfriend if you're a girl. And, like, you really can relate to it, because, you know, there's always that time when you fall in love with somebody, but that person doesn't love you, and you're really upset, and it's a real bummer. And I think this is the kind of movie, you know, you watch about 4 or 5 times and still never get bored of it. So go out and rent it.
Well, I saw Legends, which is a classic fairy tale and love story, which takes place in a magical forest with elves, goblins, and Tom Cruise.
Nothing is more magical. As long as they roam the earth, evil can never harm the pure of heart.
This is the kind of movie you really want to see when you want to get away from the real world, where there's nothing really better to do. Late at night, you're home alone. This would be a great movie to see at a slumber party if Tom Cruise got a haircut.
Okay, guys, guess what time it is now?
Recap time!
For American Tail, Lakmini gave it a C for classic, Mark gave it an A for amazing, and I gave it a T for terrific.
As for Clockwise, Matt gave it an S for so-so, and I gave it a C for crazy.
And for True Stories, I gave it an S for see it, Matt gave it a C for confusing, and Mark gave it a G for go. Figure it out yourself. But wait, guys, before we go, I have one
final question.
No, one final word. That's 555 M-A-R-K.
That's twice more Shanahan.
I don't need it.
Serious inquiries only.
Twice. Fantastic. Hey, I don't mind.
Bye-bye.
No girlfriend. No girlfriend. I don't need this. I don't need this.